The silencing was supposed to come out at South by Southwest, but that didn't happen. So a few months later, we get to watch it in the comfort of our house. The silencing tells a story about a hunter and a sheriff tracking down a serial killer in town. I was pretty much on board for the first 20 minutes of this thing. It set up an incident, some mystery, some good broken characters. Even though it has the quality of a lot of other cheaper indie films out there, Archive being the most recent one for me, I was still interested to see where this could go. The score made it clear from the get-go this isn't going to be a relaxed film where you can sit back and just enjoy this melancholy, somber tone with a little touch of horror in a setting of a small town where everyone seems to, or at least should know everyone. I dig it. The film was also shot in a lot of handheld and of course in a lot of wider lenses, which by this point, it's not very surprising. The casting I found quite fitting for the most part, and I don't think there's one bad performance here. But I think overall the silencing is a little bit too difficult for me to believe, and this is due to a couple of factors. One being that the film never attempted to build up or fleshed out the county or the town the story takes place itself, neither as a playground nor a character. I think they really should take that setting as an advantage to show the more dirty and gritty side of an innocent place and how it influences people within. A serial killer on the loose for apparently years, yet the town itself and these corruptions, let that be the civilians or the police, are barely connected. Therefore, you kinda don't give a shit. The town is never presented as vulnerable or desperate, so if the killer is supposedly brought to justice, nothing changes for the audience nor the people in that town. This results in this investigation side of things falling very hollow. The characters have a good start. You understand why our protagonist is living the way he is, and you understand some of the troubles the sheriff is dealing with. Later on, the filmmakers push them into difficult choices, which I admire. However, every character feels so disposable after their scene is done. In a story like this, there's obviously going to be a lot of misunderstandings and misdirections, so you're going to have a lot of characters besides our two leads that don't make a lot of sense writing-wise to make that happen. Our protagonist's ex-wife and her lover were there to kind of bug the protagonist. A doctor that's following the case where the sheriff barely got any screen time. A darker corner of the town was visited by the sheriff, wherein the characters there feel so disconnected to the film itself. There's also a subplot of our sheriff running a campaign and the people apparently don't like her that much, never explored deeper in the film. A can of paint was introduced at one point, and afterwards I was like, why was a can of paint introduced? A scene with a bunch of kids in a school bus was there just for a hidden exposition scene, which is barely obvious. And then one scene we can be looking at a very flat, locked, grayish shot with fog all over the place, and then next we're looking at this shop with colorful lighting and colors somewhere else. It just feels so off. It's pretty, yes, but it is quite inconsistent in my opinion. It feels like a bunch of moments rather than scenes and sequences being strung together in a seamless manner. But you get it, a lot of things are underutilized and sometimes misused as well, so there's never really enough effective setup for a powerful ending the film is reaching for, but it doesn't quite have. But don't get me wrong, I think what the film had going for was great. It lies within the execution. The engagement is lacking, so you lose interest and punch in the end. It's kind of hard to review this one without spoiling. I'm kind of walking on eggshells here, so I apologize. I'm thinking an okay 2.5 on this one.